What's up, family? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Um, Let me, before I get started, let me go ahead and share this on my on our private group and see if we can get some activity here real quick. If I don't see your comments, I promise I'll get to you in a little bit. But give me 1 second. Let me share this to our private group, and then I get started. As you're coming on, just let me know where you're coming in from, where you tuning in from, if you're watching the live or the replay, and we will get right to it. Give me 1 second. Where is this? Where is it? Here we go. Okay. So,
What's up, family? What's going on?
all right, yeah. All right. So, what I wanted to do is just jump on here real quick and just share some thoughts because I just got off of IG sharing this on IG, and I wanted to go a little bit more in depth here, but I won't be before you long because I understand that it is 9:22 where I am, and obviously in the East Coast and everywhere else it's a little bit later, so I wanted to just jump on here real quick and hopefully this helps somebody. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day. But it's all good. It is all good. No complaints. No reason to complain, but we are going to press forward. If you've seen the title, it is, again, your resolve to stay the course will always be tested. Your resolve to stay the course will always be tested. And I'm gonna share with you where this is coming from. But man, again, what a day. What a day, what a day. But it's exciting at the same time because what I'm gonna really talk about is, how do you press through those uncertain times, those unpredictable times, right? Like how do you continue to press through even when those tear ducts, theoretically speaking, have all dried up, and it's like you can't cry out anymore. Now it's just strategy. Like what do you do? What do you learn from whatever it is that you're pressing through? And so again, understand this though, as the title stated, your resolve will always be tested. Your resolve to stay the course will always be tested. It's easier to stay the course when things are going well, when things are, sort of just easy going, but it's a little bit more challenging when nothing seems to line up and everything seems to just be falling apart. So what do you do in those moments, right? And so I want to talk about that today. And honestly, where this came from is obviously, this has been one of those days where your boy has been going through, y'all see it, Your boy has been going through his own little lion's den for a little minute here. And, I've learned that the lion's den is necessary for the next level in your life. And so I look at situations like this a tad bit different, but at the same time, I'm human too, right? And so we go through some things. And so I was just really, just digging in before I call it a night. And I was actually reading through First Samuel chapter 30. And in First Samuel chapter 30, and I'm gonna paraphrase this for the sake of this conversation and for the sake of time, but in a nutshell, basically, David and his boys got robbed. I mean, I'll just say it like that, right? Like they got jacked for everything that they had, all the riches, all the gold, like everything, even their wives and their children, like everything was just robbed, right? Homes were burned down. It was crazy, but there was a point where in the midst of all of that, David did something. Hey boys, quiet down. David did something that is a lot of times very unusual when you're going through a very trying time, right? And what he did, the Bible says that David got to a point where he began to encourage himself in the Lord, right? Now, what does that mean though? That means that David realized that it was no longer contingent upon external circumstances to bring in this joy that he once knew, right? And not saying that he forgot about it, but we all go through those seasons, right? David went through depression, y'all. And so never minimize like the season that you're going through, but it's important to understand the strategies in order to break out of those seasons, because if you don't break out of those seasons, then the seasons will break you. Okay, that's that lion's den, right? The season will break you if you don't incorporate strategies in order to get through it. And so as I was reading this, and again, it's one of those days, right? It's one of those days where I was just like, man, like what do I do? Right? What do I do? So here's the thing though. So as I was reading this, so normally what I do at the end of every day, usually at the beginning, but definitely at the end of every night, I just kind of reflect on my day, right? I reflect on what I did right. I reflect on what I wish I would have done better, or some pivots that I could have made. And so in the midst of that though, I always end my day with either putting the word in my mind before I go to bed, or I'm reading something, right? Personal development, I'm listening to something, whatever it is, because I don't want to go to bed with negativity on my mind, right? And so I've trained myself to feed my mind something that's going to encourage me, something that's going to uplift me, something that's going to elevate me and get me to the place where I need to be, right? So I don't depend on external factors. So as I was reading this tonight, it was like, man, David was going through the same thing, right? So he was in this depressed state. I'm not saying that I'm depressed, but here where I'm going with this. But he was in this depressed state where everything was basically taken from him. And it says that what he did was that he encouraged himself, right, in the Lord. And I think what happens a lot of times is that we have become so dependent on other people encouraging us that we lose the power in encouraging ourselves in him. Is that making sense? Like we become so indoctrinated with wanting someone else to motivate us and move us and inspire us. And nothing is wrong with that. But it has to get to a point within yourself that you're mature enough to get away from all the noise and get away from all of the external motivations and really dig deep and go vertically. Are y'all with me? You have to go vertical in this relationship, because there's times, y'all, listen, where you will reach out for that help. You will reach out for those prayers, and it's like nobody hears it. That's what it feels like, right? Nobody hears it, and it's just you and God. The challenge is, if you're not aware of the voice of God, if you're not in tune to the voice of God, you're going to miss his instruction, and you're going to feel like there's no point. There's no point in moving forward. So that's why I said, what do you do when the tear ducts have dried out, right? What do you do when you've cried all that you can cry, and it seems like nothing is breaking through? So here's the thing though. So the first thing that I realize is that we have to get to the point where we encourage ourselves. Now, what's powerful about this is that encouraging yourself, it requires you to discover something, right? And that word discover is an indication that there's some work that you have to do, right? There's something that you have to do within yourself. You have to cultivate that thing where it's not contingent upon your boy, having your back, or it's not contingent upon this person lifting you up. It's really like you have to discover that within yourself. Okay. You have to get to this point where you're willing to put in the work to find the solution to getting you out of this rut. What I find amazing is that every single one of us, because we were created in the image of God and after his likeness, every single one of us have been injected with the ability to think creatively, right? And because we've been given the ability to think creatively, I think we don't tap into it enough, and we lose sight of the solutions that are all around us. I talked about that before, but we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord. Now, here's what's interesting. When we find ourselves to the place where we are encouraging ourselves, it makes it a little bit more challenging to focus on what's not going right. lack of better understanding, right? What's not going right in our lives. And so we have to get to that place where it's again, this is a vertical relationship, right? How can I encourage myself in him in all of this, right? Now, here's the thing. The second part is this, and I used to tell this to my students all the time. All the time I used to share this with my boys. Boys, stop. Yeah, I'm live. So I had to share this with my students all the time when when I would share life with them, life skills, and really how to break through certain things that even they were going through. And one of the things that I used to tell them is this: every single day is an opportunity to take notes. Life presents us with notes, with opportunities to take notes every single day. The reason that this is important, and this is, the reason that you need to look at it like this: every single day is an opportunity to take notes. The challenge is every single day you may be faced with a test. Every single day you may not be faced with a test. But if you take in notes every single day, remember I talked about this before where I said God is always speaking, right? But the thing is this: every single day we are presented with opportunities to take notes. Life teaches us things. If we're not taking notes, we miss out on what we need to learn. Therefore, when the test comes, we don't know how to pass the test because we didn't study the notes every single day, right? However, just like in school, when you didn't do so well on a test, more times than not, the teacher will give you another opportunity to take the test over again. The challenge with life is we we miss opportunities to take notes day after day after day after day. And then when the test comes, we keep bumping our heads. We keep failing the test because we're not taking notes every single day, right? And so you have to take notes. You have to pay attention to what is happening every single day and really be in tune to what God is saying. Now, the third thing that I come to understand, and this was so deep when I was reading this tonight, and that was, you have to get to the point where, did I freeze up? You have to get to the point where you are pruning your circle. Okay. You are pruning your circle. Now, what's interesting, when I say pruning your circle, you got to get to the point where you understand that not everybody is meant to go to this next level with you. Not everybody is meant to go where you're going, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be in a position where you are pruning your circle. Everybody can't go with you. As a matter of fact, you don't want everybody to go with you. I'm telling you, you do not want everybody to go with you, because there are people in your life right now that is dead weight. It may be family, it may be friends, it may be close, whatever it is. There's people in your life that's dead weight. It doesn't make them bad people. It just means that in this season in your life, you have to be okay with disassociating yourself with people that are not helping you to progress to where it is that God is taking you, right? The challenge, however, is that you have to be aware that God is transitioning you and taking you somewhere, right? If you think that everything is just woe is me, you will miss it every single time. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells us, it says that count it all joy when we fall into divers temptation, knowing this, that the trying of our faith worketh patience. But it says, let patience have its perfect work, that we may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing. Now, the power in that is when we go through challenging times, it tells us that we're supposed to get excited about it. You may be like, man, that's crazy. Why in the world would I get excited about challenging times? Because there's a transitioning that's taking place. If you're taking notes every single day, you're acknowledging the fact that you have to get to this point. You may be in a season where you're encouraging yourself. Now you realize that, okay, I'm in the pruning process. I got to get some people out of my life, or I have to disassociate myself with some people, because where I'm going and who I'm becoming, they're not qualified to be there. This may rub some people the wrong way. They're not qualified to be there. Jamon, what's up, man? I see you, brother. Tremaine, what's up, bruh? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm seeing y'all comments come in. Norris, what's going on, dog? But here's the thing, okay? You have to get to the point where you're comfortable with pruning your circle. Your circle are those individuals that may or may not be for you, or they may be for you for a specific season. But you have to be okay with recognizing the seasons. You have to be in tune with recognizing the seasons. Everybody can't go with you. All right. So get comfortable with pruning your circle. The last thing that I just got out of this is that no. Let me stop there for a second. So when we talk about pruning your circle and realizing that not everybody is meant to go with you, when you read 1 Samuel chapter 30, okay, I think that's where it was, right? 1 Samuel chapter 30, what you'll read is that when after David sought God to get some direction and say, okay, do you want me to pursue and go back and get everything that they took? Right? David was like, yo, I'm ready to take my squad. I'm ready to load up. I'm ready to go and take these boys out and get back what they stole from us. Right? I want all that plus some. And so when he asked God, like, are you with me? Do I need to go ahead and do this thing? And God was like, yo, dude, get them. That's me talking, right? But he was like, yeah, go ahead, pursue, right? What was interesting is that although he had the clearance to go and pursue, it also talked about there was some that were still so heavy in the loss of what they were losing that they didn't have the strength to go and fight with him, right? So again, understand this. They may be with you to a certain extent, but then there comes a point where you get to the brink of the water and it's just like, I can't roll with you. And that's okay. It doesn't make them bad people, because later when David went over, him and his boys went over and they got what they needed to get, they came back. And now here's what was interesting. Those people were still there and David still was just like, yo, I got you. Don't think for one second that just because you didn't have the strength to go over that I'm going to just go ahead and cut you loose. Because again, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means right now is not the season for them to go to the next level with you. Right. So be okay with that. So here's the thing. The last thing that I realized that we have to do if we're going to break through this place of staying the course is we have to get to the place where we're visualizing the end result. I talk about this a lot, but we have to get to the place where we are visualizing the end result. What do I mean when I say visualizing the end result? Remember, I told you that God has given each and every single one of us the ability to think, to be creative, right? In that is the ability to visualize what you truly want. Okay. Not necessarily what you don't want, but what you do want. What is it that you want in your life? Once you get to the point where you're able to visualize the end result, here is the challenge. Here's the challenge. Attaching the emotional feeling to the created picture. Attaching the emotional feeling to the created picture. What that means is if you're looking for a better relationship, if you're looking for more money, if you're looking for how to scale your business, if you're looking for peace, whatever it is, you have to get to the point where you are feeling that, right? You are feeling that. You have to get to the point where you experience the emotion attached to that. What does it feel like to have this certain amount in your bank account? What does it feel like to be able to travel with your spouse or your loved one? What does it feel like to be able to wake up in the morning and not worry about anything? What does that feel like? Okay. Once you begin to attach that emotional aspect to what it is that you're creating on your imagination, that's when things begin to shift. However, remember this now. Your resolve to stay the course will always be tested. Going through these steps, encouraging yourself, pruning your circle, paying attention to the notes that life throws at you every single day, and visualizing, it does not omit you from actually going through the test. You still have to go through some things. You still may have to bump your head. You still may have to lose something. I don't know. But I promise you this, if you stay the course, the reward is so much greater than the temporary pain of not having whatever that is. It is so much greater than the temporary pain of not having. And so I want to encourage you to stay the course, to stay the course. I wrote the book Lion's Den because, like you, I know what it feels like to be in the den of lions and hear their growls and hear the snares and just feel the heat of their breath because they're ready to take me out. But if you've read the book, The Lion's Den, one of the things that I talked about in there is that because lions can sense fear, one of the things that you have to understand is that when you're in the den, when you're in the pit, now is not the time to cower up in the corner. Now is not the time to place yourself on the platter and allow the lions to devour you and chew you up. Now is not the time to do that. Yeah, God got us. Don't knock that. He got us, but there's a part that you have to play. Like you have to keep pushing. You have to keep going. You have to reach out and say, okay, Lord, this is me and you. This is me and you. This is a vertical relationship. It does not mean that people don't have your best interests. It simply means that you're in a season right now where the only way you're going to get out is through this relationship right here. That's the only way. You can try to maneuver it your way. You can try to do whatever it is that you think is going to get you out. But I'm telling you from experience, and even from your own experience, I'm telling you the best way to get out is through this vertical relationship. Okay. So I wanted to share that because, again, like I said before, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. But through it all, I am convinced that I still win. I'm convinced that I lost no ground. I'm convinced that I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm convinced that the breakthrough is literally right in front of me. I can literally touch it. And when you get to that point, it's comfort in knowing that your resolve is being tested because it means that you're making progress. Okay, that's a whole nother live, but it means that you're making progress. So here's what I want you to do. All right. Again, if you've tuned in live, go ahead and comment. Let me know, is this resonating? Let me know if this is making sense. And of course, if you're tuned into the replay, same thing. Let me know if this is making sense. Some of you guys have probably saw the post that I'll be going live every Thursday, every week to show you how to break through these barriers. Here's the thing. I'm doing this because one, it's purpose. One, it's my assignment. I've tried. I'm gonna just be honest. Okay. I'm going to be completely honest. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to just put it on the back burner and just say, okay, when it's time, I'll break out. But and I'm saying break out for a reason. But when it's time that I would do, what I'm called to do. But here's the interesting thing. OK, you can run for as long as you have strength to run, but eventually your purpose is going to catch up with you. All right. You cannot listen to me. You cannot run away from purpose. Even me, I mean, that's what I teach, right? Purpose, potential, leadership. I mean, that's my heart. But even me, I got to a point, even recently, y'all, where I was just like, man, I'm going to put this thing on the back burner. I'm going to put it on the back burner. And what I realized is that when you put your purpose and your calling on the back burner, everything else by default begins to fall apart. Interesting, right? Everything else begins to fall apart. And so you have to make a decision that you're going to do and be who you've been called to be. All right. Now, but again, in the midst of all of this, your resolve to stay the course will be tested. Don't run away from the challenges. I challenge you to run to the challenges. I challenge you to run full speed. Run to the challenge. Run towards the challenge like David with sling and stones in hand, because eventually, if you don't quit, Goliath will fall. He will fall, but you have to have a resolve to encourage yourself, You have to have a resolve to pay attention to the notes that life is giving you every single day, because at one point you're going to have to take the test. And if you are prepared for the test, then you are elevated beyond or to the next level, right? But if you fail the test, you'll have an opportunity, hopefully, to retake the test so you can still get to where you need to be. Okay, that's number two. Number three is you have to be okay with pruning your circle. Everybody's not meant to go with you to this next level. That's why a lot of times it seems like people just kind of turn their back. It doesn't mean that they have turned their back, but it's a pretty good doggone chance. And I'm saying this from experience, y'all. It's a pretty good doggone chance that God is orchestrating some things where there's certain people that their season is up in your life. Okay. Be okay with that. And then the fourth thing is you have to visualize your end result, but just visualizing it alone is not enough. You have to attach the emotional feeling that comes with you obtaining that thing and seizing that thing and having that thing. Okay. And when you do that, you can more easily press through when the tests come, right? Your resolve to stay the course will always be tested, but you count it all joy. Get excited for the test. The test is necessary for you to be the person in order to maintain the next level, the rewards of the next level. Get excited. Your day isn't coming, your day is here. Perspective, that's a different life. But your perspective in the season that you're in right now will either catapult you forward or it will keep you where you are. It will keep you stagnant. Pay attention. Pay attention, because right now everything is wide open for the taking. Everything is, right? It's a level playing field for everybody. It doesn't matter what the economy looks like. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, today. It doesn't matter. It's a level playing field. And if you develop, cultivate this intimate vertical relationship, everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate you. If you got anything out of this, definitely share this. Hopefully it helps somebody. If you are in the place where you're needing some extra help to break through that, reach out to me. All right, let's get on the call. Let's see what we can do to break through these things, because I promise you, you are so much closer than you think. You're so much closer than you think. And the fact that you are still here is an indication that you have a major assignment that the world needs. And so I want to do my part in helping you, number one, realize it, and number two, live it. All right. So y'all already know the drill. Again, it's getting late, I know, on some time zones, but I wanted to come on here and just share my heart, and hopefully this helps somebody. As always, y'all know how it is. When you are living in your purpose, there is no such thing as competition. I will see y'all on Thursday. Go through my feed and look at the post for it if you want to register for that. I will be live doing that again, but it's going to be a game changer. All right. I love y'all. Good night, and share this broadcast. Let me know what you took away from it, what you would add to it, some things that you've done to help you break through and continue to press in the midst of challenging times, right? Tears are okay, but what do you do after the tear ducts have dried up? All right, you press through and you resolve to stay the course. God bless y'all. Good night.